Mr. Greer, Ms. Boyd, Mrs. Brate, Mrs. Stetson, and Mr. Costello.
Hi. Okay. So at the high school, we had prom on May 20th. It went great. We have graduation and grad night live this Saturday, and the Pops, all the Marshfield music programs, performed last Saturday. And at Furnace Brook, they're all doing their end of the year field trips, and the 8th grade has their class night on June 8th.
It's still a secret.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that they don't tell you. Oh, well.
At Daniel Webster last Thursday, the 5th graders visited FBMS to get a feel of what middle school will look like and got to visit some of the teachers. The 3rd graders also last Thursday visited the Daniel Webster estate. And at South River on this Friday, they have a roller skating field trip at the Carousel Family Fun Center. And they have also on Friday basket night, which is a fun event for PTO raffled baskets and a fun picnic on the playground.
I don't know if I even need this. Okay, so for GWS, register for their band and strings. For next year, it's due by June 1st. Grade 4 had a field trip today. They went to the Harvard Museum. And then the upcoming field trips for GWS is 3rd grade is going to Webster Estate on the 7th. And then grade 5 is going to Museum of Science on the 9th. And then on the 13th, they have their spring concert and their art fair at 6 o'clock at the school. And then they have their field day on the 16th of the upcoming month. Then at Ames Way, they have 5th graders have their Fun Fest. It's in student dining from 5 to 7 o'clock p.m. And then all schools have the senior stroll on Friday, June 3rd.
Good yourselves. Eric Kelly, Peterson Path. I'd like to thank the committee for not sending out an email to inform the public in town that the school committee meeting was canceled last Tuesday. I know we had a discussion by email before, Lara, when you all fell ill to COVID in January and canceled the meeting with no notice. On May 16th at 7:15 in the morning, I received an email in regards to COVID numbers going up as well as being able to get a PCR test. It also mentions being able to get the vaccine and booster. My issue is it's an unsigned letter. Why is that? I believe every email I get from the schools and administration is signed off by somebody. Is Marshfield Town Hall sending this notice out through the school communication system? Every notice should have a signed name on it and own the letter that they send. With the tragedy in Uvalde, in the info that is coming out, I as a parent, and I'm sure many other parents in town, want to hear from Police Chief Tavares that the chief and his staff will not handcuff our officers in fulfilling their duties to protect our children should such an event ever happen in one of our Marshfield schools. With the stories from officials in Texas changing on a daily basis as more info comes out, I do want to raise a concern that I have raised to Superintendent Granatino at a past town meeting. The most recent report is that a door was left open by a teacher. I am highly suspect of that claim. If the reports are correct that the grandmother worked for the schools, then I am going to be under the impression that the grandmother also had an electronic pass key. As I have brought to Superintendent Granatino's attention at town meeting a few years ago, my concerns of a staff member losing an electronic card and not realizing it until it's too late. As we have seen in Uvalde, a family member of school staff murdered many children and teachers whom easily gained access to the school. I am requesting the school committee vote to authorize Superintendent Granatino turn off the electronic pass entry system and go back to being buzzed in by someone inside the building. Thank you for your time.
Should it be green? So as you know, Mary Bradshaw is retiring after 11 years in Marshfield. And Mary has played a huge role in ensuring that the needs of our EL population are met and that the district is in compliance with the ESL requirements through the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education. So over time, the population of EL students is increasing, that our staffing needs are increasing, and the requirements from DESE are also increasing. And because Mary's role evolved over time, like as the needs of the district have evolved or the requirements from DESE have evolved, Mary's role has also evolved. So now that we find ourselves in a position where she is retiring and we need to post for her position and we are in need of an updated job description. So currently, Mary is working in a role that is, she's an ESL teacher, 1.0 ESL teacher for the district, but about 0.6 of her position is really spent working on all of the leadership tasks that are necessary within the ESL department. So ESL falls under pupil personnel, and so right now she's kind of 0.6 working in a leadership role and 0.4 as an ESL teacher at Marshfield High School. So I am here to present a job description to keep that ratio the same, a 0.6 director of ESL district-wide, so from preschool to 12th grade. The job description that's in your package just kind of spells out the specific duties and job responsibilities of the person who would take that role. And we would post it as a 0.6 director of ESL and a 0.4 ESL teacher, the same person. So basically, the job goal is to coordinate and supervise all components of ESL programs and services district-wide, to provide instructional leadership to ESL teachers and staff members district-wide, and to build those positive working relationships with all constituents. So throughout the job description, it kind of lays out all of the things that this person is, takes the leadership role in, including, I'm not going to read it to you, but, being a liaison with administrators, curriculum, helping to enroll students within the district. There is specific standardized testing for EL students that needs to be coordinated. There is a separate ESL tiered focus monitoring, similar to what happens with special education and civil rights. There's also a requirement to assist, so when a student enters the district, an EL student enters the district, there's an SEI, Sheltered English Immersion, requirement for general education teachers and specialists to have to fulfill. So there's we need to track that. So they need to fulfill that within a year of entering. So it's kind of a lot to it, and we just are in need of a job description to post because we did not have one for Mary because her job evolved. Does that make sense?
So I'm looking through the job description. One of the questions was on certifications, right? So this is going to be coordinating K through 12, but the certification requirement is only 7 through 12. Is that a typo? Or do they not have a K through 6?
It is, that's that way. I suppose we could change it, but it's listed that way because we're going to be looking for someone to fill this position as well as the high school ESL teacher.
Okay. So director position reporting to you, which is not a teacher, is the intent to keep that position within the unit, or is it going to be a singleton contract to central office?
It's within the unit.
It is.
That's what the proposal is.
Well, I saw per teacher's contract, but
Yeah.
where it's a director role as opposed to, I don't know, whatever titles we agreed to with the teachers. And is there is this a net zero to the district, or is this going to be extra money?
I think it's, as far as it's still a 1.0 position, it's just spelling out what the role, what the role is. It's still with payment per the teacher's contract, so.
Yeah, so what I'm asking, like, for the hire, right, we have a current expenditure for that faculty member, and that person is moving on. We're replacing them with this official director title, right? Does that command a higher salary, or is it going to be apples to apples or lower? My concern is if it costs more, where do we get the money? And I'm not saying it's a bad idea. I'm all in favor of doing this.
Right.
It's just,
Right.
things aren't cheaper right now.
Right, no, I agree. I think it depends on who the person is that's hired and what step they're hired at.
Okay.
Tom were here, he'd probably be able to answer it.
Yeah, and I'm sorry to put you,
But,
Just add additional days, as you can see at the bottom.
yeah, so 199 days. Right, so,
Rather than what the teacher's contract.
yeah, 182 plus 17, yeah. Okay.
And that would be a similar situation to coordinator or like permanent solution.
Oh, right, I understand that. I'm just
Right.
looking at and these are really questions for Tom, but I have to ask them.
yeah, no, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I don't think it would be, again, we should ask again to Tom, but I don't think it would be a huge increase. It's still a 1.0 position. It's still,
So if we
Within
approve
the
the
teacher's
position, are we
contract.
approving the hire? Is that, what is the actual ask tonight?
the ask is for the job description so that we can post for this position. Because we don't have a job description, we didn't have a job description. So when Mary started 11 years ago, the EL population within the district was very small. And over time, that population is growing. Like, for example, just from June 2021, there were 48 students enrolled who are considered EL. to the current number is 94. And so we're 6 students away from becoming a moderate-sized district.
Right.
Which then, in and of itself, comes with more requirements. Like, so, and I think that over time, Mary has done, Mary being Mary, has just really just done an amazing job leading and taking on new initiatives and helping to kind of keep us organized and keeping us on track. And that when you really spell out everything she does, it is a different role than a teacher.
Right, so this is a .6. Now, is that .4 teaching going to 1.0 at that point? Or would
That's
that
not
go?
the proposal. The proposal is .6 and .4.
Oh, okay. Okay. I just want to make sure I understand. So just hypothetically, if we were to approve this position pending, I'm trying to think how to word it, but assuming that we can sustain this without making cuts in other areas, would that work? And I'm assuming it's a sense of urgency, right? That way you could cross-check with Tom. Tom could say, if the school committee approved it tonight, pending, that review by Tom, he's not going to overspend the budget, right? So,
I mean, he is aware, this was discussed with the leadership team prior to coming here. Do you know what I mean? So he's aware of what the proposal is, and he's just not here to answer your specific question.
Right, yeah. It's just, like, I'm sure it'll be through attrition or some other way we make it up. But,
Right.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I want to approve it, but I hate to just, like, blindly approve it. It's like, here's a check, fill it out when you need it type thing. So, I'd be okay with the
Right.
condition
I don't
that
know how the district, I feel like we need the position, we need the person to fulfill all of these responsibilities, so I definitely understand that.
I don't think we're approving the person, we're just approving
A job description.
Position we already have, it's just putting it in front of it.
But this could potentially cost more money, which we may or may not have.
Again, I think it depends on the applicants, the pool of applicants. Mary has been here 11 years, which means her salary is, could be potentially higher than someone that we
Yeah.
hire. And that's,
Well, I need to hire 150 people right now, give or take a few. I can't
Right.
find a single person to come in and work. Right, so I imagine, what brings people in is money, so you're not going to get somebody cheap, right? And that's my concern, so I'm okay with approving it pending Tom's review to make sure that it balances. That's still an approval.
So, right, so if it were approved, and then, at least that would give us the ability to post for it, but we could bring it back with Tom.
Right, or we could just approve the job description.
Right.
But then you'd have to approve the hire also, right?
Well, that would at least allow us to post the position. So right now, as time's going by, people are taking positions in other places.
Well, yeah,
So
no, I want to approve this tonight, I'm just trying
Yeah.
to think of the right wording. Like, I'm on board to support what
Yeah.
you're asking, I just don't want to give a blank check out either.
Yeah. Well, it would be a position that would be, according to this, within the teacher's contract. So it wouldn't be, it's within whatever, whatever step that person is brought in on or whatever, so.
12.
You can't, right, you can't,
Right, but we could hire a 12, and if this person's only, just say a 10 or an 11, we're replacing somebody with a higher salary, right? And then we get into the super steps and, no, I get all that. Yeah, so, well, Tom can't spend more than he has anyway, so.
right.
All right,
And he is aware of he is fully aware of this proposal.
okay. Yeah, I'm ready to go.
No.
So motion to approve this director of ESL job description.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
trying to combine this position also while trying to maintain all three buildings on campus. So in addition to the new position, they will be hiring for a daytime senior custodian, similar to the nighttime senior custodian, but would not be filling one of the high school junior custodian positions. So it isn't an additional position per se, because it's almost taking the place of that one. There could be a slight increase in the salary because of the duties. So that's what Tom kind of put TBD. The recommendation, however, is just to establish this position. Again, because it's new, we've never had someone overseeing all three of the campus, all three of the schools on a single campus at once. So this would assist with bringing in the contractors all at once, doing all of those types of things. This person would really be evaluated by the high school principal, but the middle school principal and someone else having for them on evaluation. So the thought was to combine kind of that oversight of all three buildings. So this was kind of the way it developed. Thinking that this would be the best and probably the most efficient way to make sure that all of the buildings are taken care of.
I have questions. Not on finances, I already got my answer a couple of weeks ago on that. So, yeah, so we have 3 buildings that are covered. What about our other 4 buildings?
Well, they all have their own custodians. I mean, they don't have their own full-time custodial staff. This one is just because it's a bigger campus. They do a lot of things together. So, for example, like Marks and White go to the high school for certain things, or use like they use the track. I mean, that's not in the maintenance, but you know, they have more in common than any other building, probably.
Well, I was thinking, like, why don't we expand?
You say that like a.
Is something wrong?
I'm sorry, but I don't think that package is capable of.
Okay, thank you.
Shut off. Oh, there we go. Okay.
Thank you.
That actually was not discussed. You mean almost like a facilities director?
Well, we already have one of those.
I think because we have a facilities director in Fred for the town and the schools, this person was more of an assistant. It's not really a director over all of the schools. That really wasn't discussed. I mean, I'm more than happy to like go back and bring that up. I don't think it would be opposed, but this was more to bring in line someone to work with all 3 of those buildings while also maintaining the high school. So this was months in discussion, but again, I'm more than happy to bring up if you would be looking for. But again, I go back to that would also, if they're overseeing 7 buildings instead of 3, that would definitely cause an increase in salary.
Well, I'm not worried about the salary in this case because I know how it's being paid for. Okay. It just seems like, so assistant director, okay. Yeah, we can move on.
Okay.
So just so I understand, it kind of seems like if there's something electrical or, you know, they go to all 3 schools, I'm a little confused.
No, well, if there were.
Like if there's an issue, they've got it fixed all at one time? Is that what you're
They
saying?
could do that.
Okay.
But it's also the same person that would then oversee all of that work.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So they would be able to use the same contractors, they would be able to contact all of the same people. And it would
all of
all of
that.
the snow removal.
Right now, they're
rather
working
than- they're working
in individual silos, kind of. Okay, which doesn't make sense. I get it. Okay.
Because they're one campus,
Right.
really, it just wouldn't
Yep.
seem to make more sense.
Okay. Did you have more questions or comments?
No, nothing that adds value.
Okay. Bridget?
I just want to make sure I'm understanding. So are we essentially proposing to repurpose one of the custodian positions? And then because that custodian position is sort of sitting within already the high school world of facilities, that's part of the thinking too behind keeping this person also focused, continuing to focus on the high school, but then expanding their duties to the middle school and Martinson because of the proximity and probably some efficiencies that you'll gain by doing that, which is, okay, thank you.
Okay. So you're looking for us to approve this job description as well?
Yep, to approve the position, yep.
Okay. Mr. Greer, were you going to say something?
Yes, I just want to say, be nitpicky, but if, I'm not aware that we've gone to the custodians unit to discuss repurposing one of their positions. I thought this is independent of that, right? Because this is going to be a single contract reporting to Tom, is that correct?
I would say most likely, since it is a director, an assistant director, it does not say that his salary is in the unit.
What did you just ask? I can't hear you.
I asked if it,
Custodial unit.
Oh, okay.
yeah, so if we put it in the custodial unit, we have to bargain it with them. But
Right.
to me, this is an exempt position, well, as exempt as you can get in a municipality. So
Okay.
it would report to Tom or someone else, yeah. 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 Motion to approve, where'd it go? The creation of the custodial position role change, Assistant Director of Facilities of Schools.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. All right, if nobody has anything else, we're all set. Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Call the roll.
Mr. Greer?
Yes.
Ms. Boyd?
Yes.
Ms. Straight?
Yes.
Ms. Stetson? And Mr. Costello?
Thank you very much. We'll see you next week.